DreamHack Open is brought to you by Corsair, Intel, Monster Energy, and U.S. Navy.
In the slightly augmented words of the great poet R. Kelly, we've made it. We're the world's greatest. Finally, the final series is upon us. I'm your host, Bach. Joining me on the desk all day long in what feels like been a marathon almost, Sean Gares and Potter. We finally got to the final game, Game 4. It's been crazy today.
248 rounds, Bach. 248 rounds in 8 games.
I think your mic is off, Sean. I think you need to turn it on. Here, you know what? We're just gonna. It's cutting in and out. There we go. He's here. He's good.
There we go.
Average rounds per game, according to Harry, 31. One more, for those that don't know, than regulation. How is that possible?
Not CPS rules, by the way.
Yeah. Like, how is this happening?
You're the math expert. You tell us.
You've been crunching the numbers lately.
He's the one that did those numbers. I saw him. He was punching in the numbers on his phone. He said 31. 31 average rounds. That's. I don't think I've ever had an event where that happens. That's actually insane.
It's actually incredible. I can't even believe it's happened.
And to a certain extent, it's a good thing. Like, it's good to have close games. Yes, it's a long day for us, and we'll meme about it, but it's been great Counter-Strike all day long.
Yeah, I have enjoyed every second of it. And I think this series, we have potential to go, 90 more.
Or even more than that. Let's be real.
Let's say 135. We'll just be safe. Give ourselves a little bit of a bubble. We do have the bracket so we can see how we've gotten to this point so far. And ENCE losing to Gen G early on, a little bit surprising. Going down to MIBR in what could have been a 2-0. MIBR got to that point by losing to Complexity, who then went on to lose to Gen G. So they're already through to tomorrow, and these two teams, Complexity and MIBR, are currently fighting for an opportunity to join them in the bracket play tomorrow.
Yeah, crazy. ENCE and MIBR in that losers match early in the day. Who fell farther, R. Kelly or ENCE? I mean, Jesus.
That's a great question.
Big drops.
From the top of the top to the bottom of the bottom. I mean, is there anything that ENCE can really do based on what we saw from them? Like, the Finnish player pool is only so deep. There's only maybe one other team in Finland currently.
Exactly. And, I think they have a lot that they can do. And this is another one of those instances with MIBR. They certainly have a lot of firepower. It's just a matter of figuring out how to best utilize all the firepower that you have. You saw ENCE, you saw all the ideas they had, and you saw exactly how deadly they can be in that server. It's just a matter of collectively getting that W together. And I think that's the biggest issue. Those post plants, gotta polish those up.
Let's take a look at that bracket one more time, just so we can go through it one more time, just in case you didn't hear what we were saying, or you thought that we were lying to you. ENCE, down in the lower bracket. A team that at one point in time got second place at a major in the lower bracket. 0 wins at this tournament. It's actually insane, the fall from grace.
Exactly, yeah. And even looking at that Complexity MIBR matchup, this is going to be another rematch. And in that match, if we think back, that was very close. Sure, Complexity walked away with that win. But when we think about that 1 versus 2 that Blamef stole away, another 1 versus 2 that Obo stole away, these kinds of rounds, if MIBR were able to convert them, then, we could have a whole different kind of bracket on our hands here today.
Now, we do have the maps available. Sean, do you have any expectations map-wise? You know the maps. Sean knows the maps. How do you know the maps already, Sean? I don't know if your mic is working anymore,
I don't think
Sean.
it's...
I think, there we go.
There we go.
I'm gonna...
Okay, here we go.
Perfect.
There
Sean,
we are.
I know the maps.
how do you know the maps already?
Jason told me.
That's cheating,
The
though.
first one rhymes with puke.
Overpass.
Okay. Christine, do you know what rhymes with puke? Let's see.
Nuke.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. So that is the map that MIBR is going to pick. And then, oh man, I was going to say crust poo.
Now, is Overpass the third map?
Overpass is indeed the third map.
Okay.
I think this bodes actually pretty well for MIBR. They looked
I agree.
very solid on Nuke earlier today. Dust 2, I think rematching teams on a map you've already beat them on is a very dangerous thing. I like Christine said, that 1-on-2 blame 1, that pushed them over the edge. And that first half, that's the worst case scenario as far as KNG's level of play. I think MIBR might, I think 11 rounds was probably the worst case scenario in that match. I might be leaning MIBR right now.
Here's the one thing, the exhaustion factor. Playing this long or playing a day this long, yeah, maybe they've had a little bit of a break, but they had such a long series earlier. I mean, you guys are former players. What's it like, Christine, to go through a series like that and then have to play again?
If this was any other team, I think I would certainly say that that's a huge factor coming into this series, but it's MIBR, and just thinking of their tenure, the experience, the veteranship on every single member on this team and how long they've been involved in this competitive space, I don't think a day like today will faze these guys at all, and especially because we just saw them coming in the most prepared we've seen in MIBR in a series since I can't even remember. So I think these guys are feeling, again, pretty confident in their preparation, and I don't think the fatigue is going to faze them.
Yeah, one thing I will say, though, is when we did that interview with Fallen after they defeated ENCE earlier today, it literally felt like they just lost that series. Like, there was no positivity coming out of him. There was no happiness that they won. It was more like, we finally didn't lose a series. It just felt like a relief.
Yeah, like even talking to their videographer backstage, he's like, it's been a while since we've been picking up these wins to document them because the team has just not been finding success. And even talking to Zeus ahead of time, he was like, I don't understand, like all of the prep work is there. Everything is right. And then it just goes wrong for us once we get in the server. But looking at their opposition, this is a team on the rise. Complexity, this new roster looks so incredibly promising.
How did they manage to get a monitor big enough to hide Blame F behind it? what kind of angle is this?
He looks like Wilson from Home Improvement right now with like the fence. But I mean, this team's performance level in the last 2 months, obviously looking at that Blast event, has been meteoric.
It has, but even yesterday they lost versus Genji in that last match of the night, and it was very, very close. And I gotta say, even in that matchup, Complexity had so many great looks. Just thinking back, Automatic hardly was involved towards that A-bomb site at all, and that's all due thanks to Complexity's utility, the smokes cutting off Tim, isolating him. I think if they're able to bring that sort of structure into here and also spice it up a little bit, throw those pop flashes for Oboe, they found a lot of success with those gimmicky style type of plays, then they should be able to have a lot of more opportunities.
Yeah, I do think Complexity has the aim advantage, right? So if they can get in scenarios where they can get those aim battles, running out in yard, I actually think it might favor them to, play a little bit looser, throw the smoke for the window below heaven, throw the smoke for garage, send 3 people with Kriegs outside and just look for fights. As long as you're close enough to trade, the players on Complexity can win these aim fights. Now, when they get bogged down in mid and late round scenarios, I'd not say bogged down. Don't look at me like that. It's not always about you.
I mean, I didn't say anything. You did. A Freudian slip. Clearly, I'm on the brain all the time. I can't blame you. Look at me.
But yeah, I definitely would favor Complexity in the aim battles, and I think they should try to keep it as simple as possible. When they lose, that's when things go bad early round, and they find themselves in these slow, drawn-out late round, and MIBR will win those.
Yeah, I mean, even in my notes, I say crazy firepower, but still figuring the system out. They still need time to sort of build. That said, Christine, prediction time. Who do you have?
I'm going with MIBR here. I'm going to go with MIBR. I do think Complexity are certainly going to make this one very, very competitive, but I'm a believer, man. You said Fallen wasn't smiling, but to me, he looked very serious. Like, obviously these players are taking it very seriously, but he just looked like on a whole nother level of focus, and I'm hoping that translates here in this series.
They gave me this microphone because I'm the star of the show. Yeah, I'm going to pick the star. Complexity. Complexity is definitely winning this series. I think just their individual level is going to be very difficult for MIBR to deal with, especially, the separation of the matches they had today. It's hard to come back.
Yeah, as good as Fallen looked in the secondary op and sometimes even the primary op, I don't think he can match up against Poison. And I think the rest of the players across the board are just playing so well that if they do go to that loose style, Complexity will take it. My only concern is the map pool. That's MIBR's advantage, but I still think it's Complexity that's going to take it. Let's see what you guys at home said in the vote. Wow. That's, I think, the closest one we've had the entire tournament thus far.
That is, and it seems like the Brazilian fans are coming out now.
Yeah, I mean, 53-47, that is about as even as it's going to get.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited for this. Honestly, I think we're going to have 3 maps, and I think both of these teams came into this event thinking they're making playoffs, right? This is such an important match for both of these teams and their progressions because they're new rosters for the most part. So MIBR obviously really wants to make the playoffs. Complexity, they want to follow up that blast run with another win here.
They definitely do. And Jason Lake, we talked to him a little bit earlier today. He's feeling very confident in his team, but he's also feeling realistic, I think, setting his expectations in the right places. And I think he's setting himself up in a good spot because he's always going to be pleasantly surprised if he's able to adjust those expectations.
Sean says 3 maps, and I am inclined to agree. For better or worse, we could be going into a long series, but we will find out just after the break. Stay tuned.
Well, it's the rematch from day one. Hugo, we've got MIBR, we've got Complexity, and we've got a server at the ready. They're getting into it right now to conclude our last best of 3 of this evening, and actually just the last best of 3 in general. I don't know why I made it so unique to you and I. But Hugo, how are you feeling getting ready to head into this one? Obviously, we just had the blinder that was Endpoint versus North. That only goes 2 maps. Here, though, I feel like we've got a real potential for a 3-map series.
And that's what we want, Harry. I mean, all the rounds, we've already had plenty of them, overtimes included.
Actually, I crunched the numbers on this. We've had 31 rounds on average of every game of the day.
That's actually ridiculous.
Yeah.
Okay, wow. Okay, let's see if we can keep that up. I'm sure we'll be able to. MIBR definitely not going to be feeling as well rested as maybe Complexity after having to bash out a 3-mapper against ENCE earlier on. Complexity yet to play a game today. They are coming into this one warm and ready to go straight into Nuke. First map of the series and the CT side start here for this European team. Let's find out what we've got in store. Fast gameplay for MIBR, straight through the hut, and Obo is already taking names. Mayan with a trade, Config at the back of the site with the USP, but he's being overwhelmed. Doesn't matter, shot through the smoke rather, as Complexity lay down the pain on this A site. Fallen alone, and he will join his team in the grave. That's a round for Complexity.
Yeah, already some promising signs, but that pistol round quickly swept under the rug, not letting that one kill that Mayan was able to get onto old mate Obo get out of hand. They do a good job of keeping the leash on MIBR there. And now, 4-spy back in from the Brazilian squad. They're going to try and bring the heat here in this second round, wasting no time bringing these Deegs and armor out. Oh, the bomb has fallen up on A, and that is a disaster for MIBR. It's heartbreaking when that happens. You try and go for the vent rush, you try and rush that bomb plant down at the B bomb site. They had players outside that they were hoping could get down through secret, but that's just not the case. These guys outside have been delayed. The bomb lies up on A. So even though they've got a man down in the vents, KNG's just kind of stuck here. He's up the creek without a paddle, as it were, not having that bomb in the B bomb site.
Mayan's breaking a window at the same time as KNG from the T roof, so he just broke his way out actually into the B bomb site. That's something Complexity currently don't know, but they do know the whereabouts of that bomb is dropped by the vent. And that's valuable information in and of itself. Will they be ready for this flank, though? They have a man in hell covering off onto the ramp room. KNG, not the best weapon to play with here. Rush is holding on. He's aware of this position, and he's going to get a couple of shots off. It's getting dangerous. Getting closer. That CZ can be even more prominent as well, but he will be able to get the kill regardless. One man stuck in the lobby. Fallen's been cleaned up outside, and it's looking like a clean round, but Mayan wants to make it just that little bit more juicy. He won't find more than one, however. Config closing out the second, and Complexity taking the anti-eco. It was a force buy for MIBR, but little done with it. Now they've just got to take some P250s as they move forward.
Yeah, finally do just have to admit defeat here and move forward with these couple of upgraded pistols, but that is the extent of it. Chance for Complexity to continue to build up this money over on the CT side. No vent drop in sight in this round. Instead, they're just going to hold back in the lobby. Hope that someone from Complexity goes aggressive. You know, it's not terribly uncommon when you know you're only up against the pistols to maybe get a bit impatient with the SMGs, go hunting in the lobby. But Rush has dropped that bomb, and that's now in his prying eyes. Blame F is still holding down outside. And he just might get rewarded. There he is. Looking for number 3, KNG. There we go. Bit of a champ. Doesn't waste our time any longer. He goes down. Complexity going to get the pistol, and there's 2 conversions on the back of it as they weather the storm in that 4-spy from MIBR and beat the pistols there. Now we've got that first rifle on rifle round coming out, and not going to feature the AWP over on the side of MIBR. There's money for it for Complexity, but they're going to run the bonus round here.
Yeah, try and get some free Kriegs their way, right? Why rush the investment? Fallen is going quickly in through that door. Might try and just drop down the vents here, and there we go. Perfectly played by MIBR. He's able to get down with the assistance of his teammates. Obo spamming the smoke. Does get a revenge kill, though. Taco dead. Blame is aware that a man could be behind enemy lines, and Fallen certainly is. Blame 5-0 right now, looking to add another notch to the tally. Fallen is making his whereabouts very clear, but it goes both ways, opening the door just to keep Blame in track. Fallen doesn't even need to commit towards B, and he realizes that wrapping back through secret, trying to come in through the yard and join KNG, who's found himself on top of the silo, and might be putting pressure all over the map. But this A site is heavily stacked right now, and if they want to split it, they've got to be very, very careful.
Fallen carving this path. Out from Secret. He has been on quite the journey in this round, all the way down through those B vents, all the way through B, and now back up through Secret to find a kill, an opening for MIBR in this round, turning it into a 4-on-4. Putting some pressure towards outside and even getting this Heaven position. This could be crucial to MIBR's success, but Rush is quick. On the flank, Fallen's not ready. There's a man pushed in through lobby as well, caught the timing there, and it's all gone so wrong for MIBR in a matter of seconds, 10 on the clock. And there's the kills coming up in favor of Obo, the young gun on Complexity, cements that 4-0 lead.
That was a fantastic reaction from Complexity. They fully knew what MIBR were doing, and the information was, while transparent, while obvious, as Fallen gets that kill outside and audibly climbs up the ladder, you see Config and Obo get aggressive and take control of the lobby. That is a great response. When you know you're being split from Heaven and Mini, take that lobby. There's max 1 or 2 players in there, and MIBR weren't able to hold onto the line. Rush with a big flank, taking down Fallen in Heaven, and it's slaughter on the A side for Complexity. Fast yard play in this round, and Obo is just tearing through them right now. 4 in the previous, 2 already, and the 2 he kills, Harry, are both the guns that MIBR brought into this round. It's a bit of a disaster, as the pistols are all that remain, and not for too much longer either. Poison's laying down the pain.
Yeah, and it's a little bit sad, they try and do the outside smokes there, and for whatever reason, one of the smokes in that wall of smokes that goes down was missing, and I think it was because Fur was meant to throw it a little bit later. It's not uncommon to see teams throw that Molotov to make the smokes miss. I almost wonder, because he was the only guy with smokes left, right? If he was holding onto it, maybe meant to throw that in once they've wasted the Molotov that normally denies that wall of smokes. And not having that down is actually what gets his 2 armed mates killed on the cross. So a bit of a rough one for MIBR to lose in that fashion, but not like an unexpected result at the end of the day, right? They really didn't have much going into that round. It's just kind of the means to which it came to an end. That's a little bit upsetting. Complexity 5-0 up now, and a buy back in from MIBR. Fallen relegated down to a Galil, but everyone else is fine and dandy.
Just a standard hold for MIBR. They wait patiently inside of the lobby. Can be always going back for these late outside smokes if need be. They do have players holding on to yard passive. Rush with the re-smoke, but MIBR not jumping the gun here for any fight. They'll finally get a man up on top of the silo, but Blame, timing is everything with holding these angles. He does have Poison supporting from back of CT, so he can at least call on those cross outside, make sure that MIBR can't get down towards B without the knowledge there for Complexity. But they're kind of tunneling down right now, giving a lot of space away to this Brazilian roster in the yard. It's not being abused just yet, though. MIBR sending numbers in through the ramp. It's going to be that split in with 3. Rush has been flashed off, and he's got to drop down towards lower.
Poison swinging in to position from this rotation here. I'll open things up for Complexity as once again they find themselves with the man advantage. It's quickly cancelled out by Maya, and this time towards outside. Config and Rush both down here at B. Know that on the back of this presence, they've got to switch some stuff up. Poison gets that kill. The bomb is dropped now. Obo, while he does get traded, he's done a lot of damage. He's got a lot of bang for his buck. And there's Rush up through the ladder. And this round is all said and done. Complexity, they just crunch onto MIBR. The second they spot that bomb and they see how little time is left, they know that their chance is right there and then to just shut it down. Don't even let MIBR have a chance to get that bomb into the bomb site.
These are some fantastic reads from Complexity, honestly. Great aim as well. The shots are landing for Poison, but right now, these rotations are perfect. Config and Rush doubling up Secret to come in on a mini and a vent flank. I mean, that just adds insult to injury. MIBR don't know where to look, and Complexity definitely seem to have their rotations in order, which it can seem obvious for the CT side of Nuke as such a favorable half, but it can be very hard to know exactly who has to go where and when, and they definitely seem to be playing together in that sense. So this is a good start to the map. MIBR have been dealt a very hard start to this game. MIBR, you know, not known to be a nuke team, but at least getting that victory pretty dominantly versus Ents early on today. First time in a while on this map. And right now, well, they're versing a team that really, really like this one, as you can see. We do get MIBR creeping down towards B, but that should be knowledge that Complexity have. They saw those smokes in the yard, and they're going to start to hear those footsteps as well.
That's a bit of a shame. That flashbang misses. But yeah, this little gang of MIBR friends all down towards this site. They're grouped up and they look terrifying. All 5 of them together. These pistols, they can do damage. You've got armor as well behind it. Bomb plant's going to get found here. Complexity. This is a 5-on-5 retake, and they haven't really had much to go off of. These are the rounds that can very, very quickly spiral out of control if you're not all on the same page heading into this retake. And if you are Complexity at this point in time, there's a real big fog of war at this B bomb site. You do not know the whereabouts of any of these players, so as they try and get through the vents. First kill found for MIBR, but it's countered with 2 from Complexity. They tap the bomb. They hope that's going to bait some peaks. And right now, MIBR, my word, they get cleaned up. Complexity. Okay, they were only up against pistol armors, but a 5v5 retake of that B bomb site, and they only lose 1 man despite literally owning ramp room, and that is it.
Yeah,
like,
they had nothing.
That's the most impressive part there. So a stellar retake from Complexity. And MIBR leaving us wanting once again.
Yeah, I mean, the value of that retake there is the fact that, okay, no, they don't have Secret, but having so many players come through ramp, and considering MIBR went back into the halls means that, okay, Complexity, they can just put 3 men on the site, tap the bomb, and you know MIBR have to take that fight. They have to push off of the info, off of the audio that someone's tapping the defuse, and pistol versus rifle, they just get sprayed down by multi-peaks. So, yeah, Deagles are great for getting yourself in that position, but not really getting yourself out of it. So... still, as you say, a nice round for Complexity, and they are keeping up appearances right now. 7-0 on the CT side of Nuke. When will this streak be broken? MIBR need to get something rolling here on this T side. This could be the round. They've got guns back in their hands. Still no AWP, but not the end of the world. KNG 0-7 as well.
Yeah, he's had a pretty rough event. This one,
yeah,
kind of been the man fighting himself down towards bottom of the board in MIBR's games across the board. And I hope that wouldn't be the case here and now, but it seems like it could be repeating itself. Now, obviously, MIBR, they've had a long old day today. But I just kept saying to myself, like, okay, tomorrow will be better for this team. Tomorrow will be better for this team. And it's like, how long can you say that for?
2 years. But hopefully,
yeah, hopefully it turns around.
I'm waiting for it. Maybe one day.
Well, right here, they're grouped up over towards lobby, staying away from outside this time. Ramp room looking to be the order of the day. Rush in this position. He's going to drop on down at first contact. Gives up ramp. Poison comes rotating in. Last time we saw him do this, he was able to get a kill and slow down this offensive. Now, that's not the case this time around. Instead, Rush pressure's on. He's not going to break under it, though. He doubles up. Config swings in. And MIBR, they're not ready for the speed of these rotations. Myern, he's not anticipating that there is another man in Decon already taking up his fallen comrades' positions. And now this 1v3, oh, it's going to be tricky. He does get the first. That bomb is in the prying eyes of Complexity, though, and he's got 15 seconds left on this clock. Man needs to ace it if he wants to win this, and Obo's not going to let him. Complexity 8-0 right now.
It's ridiculous the confidence we're seeing on such a young player. Obo has just time and time again had no fear against, pushing against some of the best teams and players in the world. Like, it's ridiculous. 11-3, 16 years old, and just runs in through the doors and finishes off the round. 8-0 MIBR, more guns at the very least. No bomb plant facilitated though, and as a result the utility is lacking. They will get a man down vents, but that was spotted. Config knows, and he can call for those rotations. What adjustments will Complexity make as a second man creeps out as well? KNG not dropping vent, instead hiding behind it, waiting for a man on the top of the hut, and Config waits for no one, spraying him through the smoke. Taco has gained little value out of this position so far. He's going to try and come back up off of a reload. Fur is also snuck behind this position, but does Config want more? That's the question.
Oh, he's even got Blame F nearby. That's what's been so impressive about complexity. Oh dear. Okay, the timing's not great there, but this is where Blame was hoping to keep things in favor of the CT squad. That's not the case anymore. Bomb planted a 4-on-3 at MIBR. They could be about to get their first round here on this T side. Myron's holding for this push from the ramp room. Rush has not been spotted yet. They know he's been ramped every single round. And so now they've made contact with the unknown. They know that this man is here. And half this time tick. No one from Complexity looking too keen on taking these fights, and they will just back away, concede this round. MIBR, they're going to get their first on the board. Just that A play working out for them, but you know that one there, it does feel like Config gets a bit unfortunate with the timing. Looked like he was about to go ahead and drop some utility towards Squeaky or Hut and just gets caught by that push. You're not going to be able to rely on that if you're MIBR. However, they've got their first on the board. Hopefully, this is the beginning of a bit of a comeback here from the Brazilian squad.
Yeah, and while we talk about KNG struggling, he's still 0-9. On the flip side, Mayan, he's had a fantastic tournament. He's been top fragging almost every single series for MIBR so far, and this one is no exception. 9 kills, the only man above 2 on his team. Now, obviously, 1 round to their name, but it's impressive, and that's even more so. Poison running through the hut and taking down Fallen. It's a fast mini split, but they're ready for it, and they've got numbers on this A site as well. Poison finds his third. Bomb dropped in the open. Fur alone. 1-on-5. Surely done. Surely over.
Yeah, I mean, even if he starts to get these kills, right, he's got to try and build this into something. That bomb is under the control of Complexity right now, so he gets the first. And there's 1 minute and 10 seconds left. He knows he's got time, but that is really the only thing going his way right now. Going to start to work his way over here towards ramp room. No one towards this side of the map for Complexity. Rush has actually moved away. Wrapping around outside his config, going on this very long flank and actually going to take up a position on T-Roof. None the wiser.
Oh, he even pre-fires Harry. He was ready for that angle, and Blame just taps him down with a Krieg. That is the issue with buying the Krieg, right? The biggest problem with that is giving it over to your opposition. CT Kriegs can really hold the line. Talking of which, Poison Man with the AWP, different kind of scope, even more effect. 3 kills as he rushes through the hut with that gun. 9-1 for Complexity. Can MIBR stop the tirade right now? Bai is back in, pistol on Mayan, everyone else armed somewhat. Back to the yard.
Ooh.
Oh,
yeah, he saw the feet at the very, very least. There's a bit of a gap on the bottom of that smoke. Blame F has already rotated in. He's going to get 1 now. He's very, very low, so he's keen on getting out of danger and keeping this 5-on-4 for Complexity. They've already got Rush as this failsafe inside of the B bomb site, so that if Blame did have to leave, you're not conceding the site control to MIBR. They've still got this man to get past. Now his teammates taking up position over at ramp, and this B site just becomes a death box as they go walking on in. You've got lines of sight from either angle here over towards B, and it is just those crossfires that decimate MIBR. Man might even run the risk of getting wallbanged here as he attempts to get up through the vents, and this is just a complete and utter shutdown. This could be a flawless round from Complexity. And that's quite the statement, right? MIBR get that 1 round, and then there's a chance that Complexity have 9 out of 10 in the next 2 round players surviving. So yeah, quite the middle finger to MIBR. Sure, you get 1, but we're straight back in with our own.
yeah, and Blame showing the value of just not overplaying your hand, right? He gets a kill down on B, he gets low HP off of this fight, and instead of sticking around and just trying to play for information, he just bails and goes back towards A. You said it yourself, Rush was still on B, it was no problem, but Blame even gets a further kill playing a headshot angle on the A site. Low HP not mattering in that kind of fight, so yeah, just showing that, sometimes the best thing to do is run the hell away and let your team deal with a problem. Poison, he can deal with everything, no problem. Rush spraying them down, and he's got a 3K before finally Fallen finds a kill. Poison closes it out, and it's another round for Complexity. Add it to the tally, 11-1. This is disgusting.
Yeah, no, this is far more dominant than I think anyone could have predicted coming into this first map. I mean, Complexity are looking unmatched right now. This is MIBR's map pick, by the way.
Yeah, right. And again, Sean said it as well on the desk. You know, picking a map that you've already played and won versus another team, such as Dust 2 coming up next, is always a danger. But regardless of that, if Complexity sweep the floor with MIBR and head into Dust 2, it doesn't really matter what's happened in the past. The mindset is going to be rough, to say the very least, for these Brazilian players. Safe to say, they need something here, Harry. Even if that's 2 or 3 rounds. But they'll take what they can get, and Complexity aren't giving away much right now. Back to the lobby for MIBR. Smoke's thrown towards ER, but it is only a facade. Fur is there alone. Taco even chunking a nade, does send one flying right back, but Rush has got ahead of it, playing around this smoke. First coming in for a mini split. He's found a bit of a gap. He's found a bit of a timing, but what will he do with it? Still waiting for the rest of his team to make first contact before he gives away this flank. Still looking like an A play after all with this mini split, with First in such a deep position, but Obo has been a powerhouse on top of this hut.
Oh no, but this kill here. Oh dear, I thought they were going to get it. No, Config has laid waste to the players getting out through Squeaky, and now Obo is here to pick up the pieces. Still alive, still kicking, and just denying entry into this A bomb site. It's brutal. MIBR, they're getting turned away. Fallen, while he does get one, it's ultimately meaningless. 12-1 for Complexity, and the good times keep on rolling here. There's like 3 players who had max cash coming into this round on the Complexity side, and there's no money left for MIBR. This is just brutal.
And again, drawing more attention to the scoreboard, because this is just so lopsided. Mayan on 10 kills, everyone else on 2 or 3, and in the case of KNG, 0 and 13. This cannot be happening. Weird Molotov, pointed out by Config. Blame is out and about in the yard, playing above the blue box smokes. Fur creeping past. Oh, he's about to catch him, but he doesn't see him on the side of his screen. Blame has gotten right by. Oh dear, it's so close, looking around, dropping Fur. Not going to hear the footsteps, just piling into the A site again. Config and Blame putting up kills per piece. Blame realizes now that a man has snuck behind him. He has to double back, but Fur has heard him as well. This is the best chance MIBR have had all game long.
And it comes from such a weird round, such an odd little slip and slide past each other outside. Here's Blame F arriving and bringing it back into Complexity's hands. 3-on-2 in the retake. Taco's naded down. He's desperately trying to stay alive. The flashes are good. KNG is so blind. It's chaos inside of A. But a 13th round graces the Complexity scoreboard. And MIBR, oh, you can almost feel the pain of this one, right? I mean, This is so one-sided. Round 15, the final of this first half coming up.
And that must be a rough kill, falling off the T roof as well, right? Your teammates just pushed outside, and you're dying in T-spawn to a man who's walked past red. Like, you know, it's just all falling apart right now for MIBR. And even just these little unfortunate timings, they're just going to frustrate you more and more, considering you have not got a leg in this map. 1 round to your name. Oh my God, Poison! Give them a chance!
This is just mind-boggling from Complexity, and same could be said, I guess, from MIBR. Like, this doesn't even look like these 2 teams are of the same caliber.
Yeah, and even though Complexity, like, it's not just coming down to the fights, like their rotations have been fantastic, it is also about the fights. Individually, everyone is looking so crisp right now. I mean, so many, like, people back at Blast last week in London were saying, you know, one of the hardest teams right now to sprint is Complexity, because these players are just on another level individually. And right now, they are showing that versus double major winners, making them look like fools, Harry. 13-1, KNG, all to do, nothing to do it with.
Yeah, and he's been riding out this bottom of the scoreboard stat line for a while. He's got 2 in this round, and he would love to change that up and offer some solace to MIBR, but it's not happening today. Blame F grabs another, adds it to the tally. 14-1. Complexity making quick work of MIBR here in the first map. This one might be fast, but join us after the quick break. We're going to see exactly how this second half unfolds. Well, up until this game, every single map today had, cumulatively, had averaged 31 rounds each. Now this entire series might be over in 31 rounds if Complexity are allowed to have their way. 14-1 up right now over MIBR, and you shouldn't be on the edge of your seats. You should be tucked back in them, because this should be dead to right. Complexity, they get down. Oh, they got so many people down the vent, man. That's not how it's meant to happen. Myron's at least here picking up the pieces. He's trying to do what he can. He's saying, come on, boys. They're rotating in. But Complexity have somehow turned this so that now they've got the man advantage. The bomb's going down. This is chaos. This is madness. Taco's come rotating in. He's got KNG with him, and they are getting a couple of kills, so maybe there's still a chance here for MIBR. Config backed off on the other side of Decon. Bomb is tapped, and now the peak baited out. Config's gone. It's Taco versus Blame F. He taps on the bomb and actually might just be sticking it here. The full 10 seconds. Blame F is not falling for it though. And that's round number 15. Map point for Complexity. They're looking to get this one over and done with.
I mean, what can you even do when Complexity get 3? I think that was maybe 4 players down the vents in the pistol round. That is just unacceptable. Unbelievable. And unstoppable. 15-1 up right now. MIBR, all to do. They got SMGs, they got Deagles, but really they haven't got a hope in hell, Harry. I've got to say it. Door blown out, and Complexity want to end this fast in that A site. Taco's ready for it, though. Does stop Hobo. The quick wrap flank and the lobby push at the same time. It's a crunch for MIBR, and they will take a bite down on Complexity, finally taking an advantage. 4-on-2, but they're not out the woods yet.
Yeah, this is a far from done deal, both in this round and in the game. Even if you pick this up, you are so far from pulling this back. Poison in the 1v3, no chance for him here. MIBR, they'll get a second on the board. But, is this just a bandage on a missing limb, right? Are you already too far gone? Yeah,
okay, stop bleeding, but you're not going to get your arm back.
Yeah, no, exactly. You're already worse off now, and MIBR, they're going to try and come back as best they can, but I'm far from worried. I don't want to I don't want to hype this up just yet. MIBR know that they are ludicrously far behind. It feels patronizing to say.
That being said, at this point, if you're MIBR, you can just play freely, right? You can just take those
you've got
risks.
nothing to lose.
Yeah.
Apart from this map, but you kind of maybe already have, so...
Oh dear, especially with shots like that. I mean, Config is deep in the yard right now, and MIBR, despite being on an anti-eco, have no one here. Nothing to stop it. They should be the ones with the range advantage, but right now they are looking worse for wear. KNG down to 1 point of health. Mayan has at least stemmed the bleeding, taken Obo out of the lobby. That's almost all of the inner control done. Rush is waiting for his team to come and reunite with him, but in the meantime, Taco's getting aggressive. Now, this is a good play, considering MIBR have spotted numbers outside, but they've just come back inner, and Taco could get overwhelmed here. That could be a route into the ramp room towards the B site, but the flash is good, and he goes back for more. 1 for 1, really not enough at this point. KNG needs to show up, and he's too low. Poison one-shots him, and down towards B, the path is opened up.
Yeah, they're going to get down through the ramp room. Maya trying to put a stop to this. Gets a bit of chip damage, but that's really it for him. Rotation of Fur is still a little ways away. He's finally arriving at the ramp room, but Config, well, he's been waiting here all round long for this push almost. The bomb is now down. And MIBR, they're back on the clock once again. They've been on the back foot all game long, and this round's no exception. How's he landed that? And now it's only Mayan left. He was hoping that Fur was going to be the reinforcements, the relief that he so desperately needed. But no, he is alone now more than ever. Mayan falls, and Complexity, with nothing more than pistols in their back pocket, take this first map. Incredibly dominant, incredibly dominant. And they are set up and in such a great place now to continue this in this series and lock in that semi-final spot.
Yeah, moving to Dust 2 now, which is, of course, their map pick in this series. MIBR gaining some confidence after beating Ents on Nuke, but Complexity putting them right back in their place. And now heading over to Dust 2, I mean, MIBR, they put up a fight versus Complexity in the opening day on that map, 16-11. They did still lose it, but, you know, at least for MIBR there, you can get more out of a loss than a win in terms of analyzing your mistakes, right? That being said, after getting 16-1, yeah, you know, they're not going to be feeling too good.
It's kind of like sad to see, honestly. You're seeing MIBR looking like this. Yeah. I mean, that's not what they're about, and they kind of, you know, they know that, you know, and we know that as viewers. That's not the MIBR we want to be seeing. You know, these are guys who are legends at this game, and I don't think this is the send-off they're wanting at this event. So I'm hoping for the second map they can pull it back. Can they, though? Maybe you're believing, maybe you're not. Join us after a quick break, and I guess we'll see.